and Tony podcast brings you
the Mild Manner Movie Review with your host, Tim.
And Tony. On this week's episode, we will be talking about A Knight's Tale.
Are you not entertained?
But tonight, we dine in hell!
Great Scott.
You play ball like a girl!
Are you good?
We're on a mission from God.
Life finds a way.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
All right. So we're going to start with our interview before the movie.
Yeah, a few questions.
So let me start off by asking you, why A Knight's Tale?
Well, first off, you hadn't seen this.
That is correct.
So I kind of needed to make you watch it.
Yeah, it is correct.
I don't know. I love this movie. We'll go into the details.
We'll get into why.
But, I don't know. It's a sports movie, but a period piece at the same time.
Right.
Like an underdog, and I don't know. It hits a lot.
I was going to say, it checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, and the comic relief is great in this.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
that work well together.
And just like one of the best soundtracks too.
Oh, phenomenal.
Soundtrack is amazing. Yeah.
I bet you it cost a lot for the for the rights for the music, just based on the ones that they did use.
Yeah. So I needed to make you watch it.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you did. I'd always heard, like, the one thing I knew about it was when Paul Bettany was talking and no one reacted. Like that I knew about, like classic blunders or stuff from movies.
That ended up working.
Yeah, that ended up
staying
working
in the movie. All right. What is your favorite medieval period-ish movie?
Sword in the Stone.
Oh,
Not even a question.
not even a question.
Absolutely the greatest movie. One of my top 5, I'd put it Disney movies, and just period piece alone. Absolutely.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go with In the Name of the King. The second one with Dolph Lundgren, though, I think was the funnier of the three.
Out of all of them.
Yes. But besides that, like, I was thinking, I did like that Robin Hood with. I haven't seen the new one with Taron Egerton, but
with Cary Elwes or
Russell
Crowe.
Russell Crowe, that was a good one.
There's been a lot of Robin Hood.
Yeah, there has been. Or Black Knight. That was like
Black
the
Knight's
very first thing I thought of.
The first thing I thought of was Kid in King Arthur's Court.
Yeah, that
was the baseball one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only other like period ones would be. I had another one, but I don't know. Like, would Princess Bride count?
I'd count it. Yeah.
Then that would be up there.
That's up there.
Just it's on its own level, but it'd be up there. But I'm sticking with my Sword in the Stone.
That's a good one. I will stick with In the Name of the King.
In the Name of the King. That's good. And then this question, which we need to rectify this.
We need to
because seeing as I pass it twice a week whenever I come out here.
Every day.
Have you ever been to medieval times?
I have not.
You are missing out.
Have you been?
I've
multiple
granted,
times?
I haven't. Yes, but the last time I was probably like 10 or 11. We'd go with the family, and
I'm just gonna have an alert on Groupon.
Oh, you should. I'm sure they have a ton of it.
We'll have to get tickets.
Absolutely have to go,
because I do love this movie, and I feel like
it's basically the movie in front of you is how good it is.
I'm in. All right, there are a lot of actors in this film doing accents. I wouldn't say, I guess, fake. But in your opinion, who had a great accent in this film, and then just in general in a movie? So it doesn't have to be just British for in general.
As far as I didn't really notice the accents, or you just mean the accents in general?
In general, like I know, like Alan I like Alan Tudyk's in this because I think he's like one of the only American people in this.
Yeah, he's got a little bit, and I guess you could say
And he
Heath
does a
Ledger's
decent-
accent.
Yeah,
You could tell where he's
once
from.
in a while, some Australian comes through, but
in general. Ugh. Oh, who? Someone. Emily Blunt's got a decent American accent. Like whenever they ask her to do something, she like snaps right into.
Mm-hmm. I liked the first person I thought of was Brad Pitt in Snatch. He does like a Irish gypsy, and it's very good. Can't understand a word
I will go
he's
with
saying.
Brad Pitt in Inglourious Basterds. As
that is
an
a good
opposite.
one. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, that would have to be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or a little more recent, Man from U.N.C.L.E., them switching. Henry Cavill doing
he does a very good American accent. Like after you hear him like talking his normal accent, and then what's his name? Armie Hammer doing the Russian. That's a good one. Okay, let's jump right into our first segment: a Tim and Tony review of A Knight's Tale.
Hold on to your butts.
This week we will be talking about a peasant squire fueled by his desire for food and glory, who creates a new identity for himself as a knight. So we'll start with our top five. And what do you got with your honorable mentions?
My honorable mention, the story. Kind of talking about it earlier, but like it is a sports underdog movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it feels like a modern day. There's a spin on it.
Oh, absolutely! Like
they'll go into
a lot of overt hints too.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the story in general is good, and I like it. The final joust is awesome. Just get you pumped up.
Yeah.
There are a few deleted scenes that there's one where Watt, Alan Tudyk's character, is like hitting on the blacksmith. She like turns him down, and it's a pretty good one. And then
that might explain why Chaucer keeps alluding, making fun of him throughout the whole movie.
And then Chaucer has another speech at the end that was a good deleted scene they took out. But I understand why they took that one out. It flows better without his speech. And then another honorable mention I added, like, I think I watched it twice before we did this, but he's like, who's that over there? Like talking about the other knights. He's like, that's whoever, whatever, Sir something. He's like, he's raised taxes 3 times to pay for tournaments. Like his people go hungry while
he's here playing.
While he's eating in banquet. They like lean over, like it's probably true. just like to get him angry.
Get him riled up.
So that's a great one. Then number 5, the soundtrack / the score. They do mix in like it does like have that like medieval like the
you get the
background
medieval,
music, and then it goes into like Queen and
AC/DC
Kiss,
and
AC/DC. They have a bunch of the soundtrack's great.
I was trying to think of another.
Number 4 is the dance scene, both the practice and the actual one. I think when Watt punches Chaucer in the face for calling him a girl. You could hit me all day because you punch like a what? A girl.
Like how he just keeps like tempo, like in the singing.
Yeah.
1 and 2, and you're still doing bad. Like,
Watt doesn't lead; he follows like a girl. He just like stops, just like pops him. And then the real dance starts with like the like them playing the music, and then it goes into what's that song? I'm blanking on that song, but that's a great song too. And then they're like it's kind of like a modern dance. It goes from like the old school dance and then into a modern dance, which is cool.
I should start writing down
soundtracks,
the songs that come up. We'll remember that for next time.
The montages. I mean. There was the training with the swords and the training and jousting, and then just like him
and just general
jousting, or even the montage of him losing. It just keeps getting hit. Number 2 is Chaucer's intros. The first 2 are great. I think it was the one at the fighting pit where no one cheers, and then the one at the end's great too. It's short though. The one where he finally calls him William or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
And then what was the Italian virginity one? Is a good one.
I'll kind of piggyback, but I like the other Sir Adamar's guy who delivers it when he starts trying to like freestyle it.
Yeah, he's trying to. He does the and everybody else. He like steals that line. Yeah.
And everybody
I love
else
the
protector of the.
He's got the mirror.
He's
got the mirror and he's throwing him off. He's like flashing it.
Got
in
the
his face.
sunlight.
Yeah. And then my number 1's the cast. I mean, Heath Ledger, and then I can't remember what the chick's name is, but she was in all of these movies around this time. Paul Bettany.
I don't remember her name. Yeah.
Alan Tudyk and Mark Addy are great. Even the guy, Adamar, he's just like a villain in everything.
Okay, all right, I'll kind of bring it up because he showed up on a ton of lists when I was looking, because I was looking at a lot of lists today of like actors. He was on almost all of them. I was like, son of a bitch, why can't I find who I need? But we'll elaborate on that later.
Yeah. But this cast is great. Even the guy that plays was Prince Edward.
Yes.
Prince Black. Yeah. The Black Prince Edward
Sir
or something.
Thomas
Colville was his fake name. Yeah. That guy is in a bunch of stuff, and he was actually in the most recent thing that I saw him in was Altered Carbon.
Yes, because
I was like, and the first thing I recognized was like,
he was the other guy.
Prince.
Yeah, he was the other guy. The guy who the main in Altered Carbon was another guy who showed up.
Showed up a lot.
in a lot of my searches.
I was gonna put him down, and I was like, he's definitely knows who that is. He would have remembered that person. But those are my top 5.
All right, my top 5. The honorable mentions is that Adamar's lance had a fist at the end of it.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet,
like a little black fist. The other one was Kate putting the Nike swoosh on his swoosh. The double swoosh on his armor.
What's this? it's my mark of my trade.
So other people may want to use it. Another scene was when they go into the church and he dips his hands in the holy water and like slicks his hair back with it instead of. You clearly see her use it and like make the sign of the cross, and then he just like puts his hands in and flows his hair back to make it look good. This is kind of going back to the Rudy episode, but Heath's stunt double in this, just taking all the lances, especially the losing montage.
Yes, just taking lance
just
after
in general. Lance. But
even though they're
double,
I think they were like made out of like chopsticks.
Yeah, they made them all like out of like the soft balsa wood.
You're still getting hit.
You're still riding on a horse with a big stick, getting nailed up.
Even if they cushion it a little bit,
right? Even if they put other armor, it's still like 60 pounds of stuff on you while you're riding. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what, that's a nightmare scenario for you.
Yeah.
And then the logo that Watt wears like on his shirt, like as it goes on, it kind of looks like the Link logo, like where it's like almost like a triangle with like a bird.
Oh, okay,
like
yeah,
on
I
the
know
shield.
what you're talking about. Yeah,
it kind of looks. I just kind of thought it looked like that. So I like that. My number 5 was the learning to dance scene.
Yeah.
Like I said, how like Chaucer was like keeping time, but like telling them how they were doing it wrong every time. My number 4 is that, like kind of like you said, it's a period piece, but it's modern. Like they use all those elements, but
and like
kind of bring it.
I think they did a good job on like the wardrobe and that too.
Oh,
like, where
yeah.
It doesn't look too cheesy. Where
it's not all old like straight armor and stuff like that.
But they did a good job.
My number 3 is like it's a classic rom-com / feel-good story, so like the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially for my first time seeing it, I'm like, oh, okay, this. It seems like a lot of movies take from this one too in some areas, which was nice. My number 2 is that I enjoyed the movie overall for being my first time. It started off super humor, like real dry humor, funny.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff where it like pulls me. I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be this kind of movie.
Kicking the guy they were working for before.
Get up! What do you mean he's dead?
I haven't eaten in 3 days. He's just like kicking him. And I love it's just I don't want to steal it if you quoted it. I don't think you did though.
If I did, that's okay.
When he
Go
puts
ahead.
when he takes the nostril things out, and he's like left and right. It's just like such a simple thing because it doesn't matter. But he's like, oh, thanks, and he puts them back in.
So clearly they've been using it for a while.
Yeah, but he's just like left and right. He's like, okay, thank you. Like it wouldn't matter. You're putting it in someone else's nose.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all those like little things.
Yeah, it starts you off good.
And then my number one is the soundtrack.
Which
did you?
I pulled it up. Yeah, it's on IMDb. But "We Will Rock You" so Queen. "Lowrider" is when they're like walking out. That's walking in. "Taking Care of Business."
Yes,
I think that's the first training montage.
I think so.
And then like him fighting.
And then the boys are back in town. I know
is when they're going
when
into London.
London.
"Golden Years" by David Bowie was the one when they're in the dance.
Oh, when they're in the dance.
Yeah. "Further Up on the Road," Clapton. "Get Ready," Smokey Robinson. Then "Boys Are Back in Town." "You Shook Me All Night Long" at the end, and then
at the end.
"We Are the Champions." And I guess those two switch in the UK version, and so "We Are the Champions" plays at the end for the UK version or something.
Oh, really?
I was reading something about it.
Where they flipped them?
Yeah, and they flipped them.
It's an interesting little extra fact for you.
All right, a few problems. I need more than 5 favorite parts for sure.
Because it is a fairly long movie.
This one's 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think I was mixing it up with
the other one.
The other one, but yeah, it's about. I think it's 2:04, so it's just under. Credits and all that.
But still, like pretty. Like there's a point in this where you could be like, all right, you can end the movie here.
Yeah.
Like you've established that they love each other and they want to end up together. Could probably end it there, and he's won a bunch of tournaments.
Yeah. And then not really a problem, but the extras are pretty entertaining sometimes. Just because
I'm sure it was a problem for them when they were making the movie.
Yes, I'm sure it was. But like some of them just have no idea what's going on. It seems like
you're just gonna stand here and listen to look at everybody else.
I don't know, but just because they don't, it makes it a little better because like they look legit, like they
they look like they should be there.
Yeah, but those are my problems then.
Mine is. One of my problems is that I was just waiting for the reveal that everyone finds out he's not Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein. Mm-hmm. And then it was a super anticlimactic, like, oh, hey, you're not so-and-so.
Oh, when like
where they just
she finds out.
They're kind of just like, hey, so you're not him, right? And he's like, no. No. Like, it's kind of anticlimactic, but I liked how they did it.
Yeah, I think it's because they wanted the big climax to be him getting knighted.
Right, which... ultimately better. Definitely enjoyed that. And my other one was that he should have said, kind of like in like a modern thing where it's like, oh, you can't beat me, so you had me arrested. Like you had me kicked out of the tournament because you can't beat me on your own. Just to like entice his ego to beat him, like just classic villain stuff. Like that I could have seen them doing that and I would have been okay with that.
I feel like on the ride back. After the first joust, after he even stabs him, he could have said something there, like,
right? Been like, "Oh,
you had to get me arrested and
cheat,
and cheat."
Like,
and then like that would have got him mad too.
Exactly.
And, like that would be a good line to throw in there.
It would work just like a small line like that. So, like I said, not a problem, but just something I would have liked to have seen. That probably would have added a little bit more for me.
Okay. On to favorite quotes. I'm gonna bounce around. I'm gonna start at the bottom probably. This one is when she asked him to lose, and then she finally tells him he can win. Josh is like, "There she is, William. You're the embodiment of love. You're Venus." And he just looks at her and goes, "Oh, how I hate her."
It's hilarious because like this movie nails so much about a lot of stuff, and that's like part one of them.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then this one's I cut it up a little bit just because was smoother to do it this way, but it's all the French guys talking talking trash to like the other squires. He's like, an Englishman will not win this French tournament. English legs are unsteady on French soil. And they're like still trying to push Roland into like, come on, let's bet everything. Bet we got him. He's won 4 in a row. Right. And he's like, and because French wine is too much for English bellies. And the last one goes, and most importantly, because the Pope himself is French. Then Roland finally like gives in. He's like, well, the Pope may be French, but Jesus is bloody English. You're on. Just
that one just put him over the edge.
The Pope may be French, but Jesus is bloody English. And my third one is Adamar talking to like the retired knight. Mm-hmm. He's like, how would you beat him? He goes, with a stick while he slept, but on a horse with a lance, that man is unbeatable. It's just great.
Just like him understanding, like you're not gonna beat him.
Yeah,
like,
straight up you won't. Yeah, he's too good. And then my last one is Prince Edward. While William's in the stocks, he's like, "What a pair we make, huh? Both trying to hide who we are, both unable to do so. Your men love you. If I knew nothing else about you, that'd be enough. But you also tilt when you should withdraw, and that is knightly too." And then like he knights him right after that. Yeah, I like that scene.
Yeah, which kind of echoed earlier when he's like, "Well, why would you do that to him?" He's like, "Well, he's doing it to himself, so like clearly he's okay with it." Like,
yeah, was he Prince Edward? He's like, "Oh, you know who I am."
Yeah.
Yep. He's like, "It's not in me to withdraw." He's like, "Me neither." Yeah, that was just that. I like that scene too. Yeah, that's a good one. Just
acknowledging, like, "Oh, hey, you're royalty, but you still want to get involved in this." Yeah. Okay, my favorite quotes. Number 1 is Jocelyn says, "Better a silly girl with a flower than a silly boy with a horse and a stick." And Watt like calls her after she left, and he goes, "It's called a lance. Hello."
Hello. It's called a lance. Hello.
Oh wow, I picked all 3 Watt quotes. I just noticed that. But this one, Watt and Roland are speaking, so he goes, "What do you mean, Dad?" Roland goes, "The spark of his life is smothered in shite. His spirit is gone, but his stench remains." Does that answer your question? So like I said, the humor, like right in the beginning of the movie, that got me definitely hooked on it. And then the third one, which kind of sets up how like Chaucer kind of like makes fun of Watt the whole movie. Watt says, "I don't understand women," and Chaucer goes, "Nor do I, but they understand us." Well, maybe not you.
Maybe not you. Or he's like, I love at the very end though when he's like, "I'm gonna write this down." He's like, "What? Like the prince and the things, all of it." He's like, the human the human spirit is in everything, or something like that. He's like, "Well, maybe not you." He just like looks at him, and he finally like hugs him. Right. He's like,
just them two back and forth throughout the whole movie. It was nice. Okay, now that we finished with our main topic, let's move on to some TNT trivia about the movie, starting with Who Am I?
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus!
I'm Batman.
I'm Wayne Brady Benz!
I am your father.
I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman.
I am the Clit Commander.
I am Groot.
Yes, I'm Batman.
I'm rich, biatch.
I believe you're up first.
Yes. For my Who Am I? 4 movies that this person was in. A Knight's Tale. It's always good when that movie's in the list.
Exactly.
You know it's a good movie that we picked a good movie.
The right one, yeah.
iRobot, Rogue One, and Firefly.
Whew. That'd be Alan Tudyk.
That is correct. Yeah, he was.
First, I was in trouble. I'm like, oh no.
He was Sonny in iRobot, the robot.
That's right. Yeah. He was.
Yeah, and then Rogue One, he was also another robot.
Oh, another robot. Firefly, he flew a robot.
Yeah. All right, so I got 2 random facts. Smokey and the Bandit is his favorite movie. And then in the commentary for both A Knight's Tale and Knocked Up, the directors mentioned having to give Alan the role due to his improvisational skills in the audition. So the line tighter in Knocked Up, where he's like, you got to get tighter.
Yeah.
Like what, telling her to lose, not to lose weight, but to
Tighten up.
That was all improv. And then the when he's yelling at Chaucer the first time, and he's like, your entrails will become your extrails. Like that whole thing is just all improv.
Over it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought that was fitting for 2 facts about him.
Nice, yeah. Okay, my Who Am I? I'm known for A Knight's Tale, The Full Monty, Robin Hood, and Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's Mark Addy.
Yeah.
When you said Robin Hood, I was like, because he's Friar Tuck in that movie, isn't he? Oh yeah. See, that is a good one. Also, he was in Still Standing. Played a Chicago guy. Which I didn't know he was British because that was one of the first things I saw him in.
There is not much trivia on him, but what I can see, he attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, I'm assuming in England. And a lot of the information a lot of his trivia is that he's working on movies.
And they probably all came out already.
They have 2010, 2008, 2011. So yes, those are my facts about him.
All right.
Or that is my fact. Let me find a quote that he said. So one of his quotes he said is that a lot of people say that comedy doesn't travel well. I found it very accessible. This is one of his quotes.
Okay, moving on to random facts about the movie.
Yep.
So my 3 random facts. When Chaucer first introduces Sir Ulrich in his speech, the crowd doesn't react at first because the Czech extras didn't understand it. And then Mark Addy's loud prompt tipped them off to start cheering. That awkward moment was left in because it made the scene funnier.
That's the scene
Yeah,
that I
where
knew
he's,
from. Yeah.
where he's like, oh. They all just start cheering. Yeah. The 3 squires in the movie, Mark Addy, Heath Ledger, and Alan Tudyk, went on to play roles of royalty. Mark Addy played King Robert Baratheon on Game of Thrones. Heath Ledger portrayed the Joker, a.k.a. the Clown Prince of Crime, in The Dark Knight. And Alan Tudyk voiced King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. I thought that was a good one.
Technically royalty, yes.
Technically,
I will give it to all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, the funny stuff. That's a good.
Mm-hmm. At the end, Chaucer says, "I think I'll write this down." In real life, The Knight's Tale is the first chapter in Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales.
And I know I've read The Canterbury Tales.
Read parts of it.
I think like the
in
first.
high school.
Yeah, those are the only ones.
Who was that English teacher? Had us skip around.
Right, we only read certain.
Oh my God.
I think
it was
I
Billy
Moscatello.
Yeah, it was Moscatello that had us skip around.
Yeah.
That's who it was. Because he was all the G's advisory, right? All the Gavins.
I think so.
Yeah, that.
Where were you? Were you down that small hallway, or were you still in the 200 hallway?
Down the 200, like right in the middle. It was in Piasco's.
Oh, that's right. And because then the G's and stuff were right by the door.
Right by the door. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking like, why the hell would that doesn't make sense? I was down by the other door.
Yeah, that was always fun. Gavin, you got 3 guys to turn around every time. Stop it.
But for, what's a but for? For my facts about the movie, The first one, the aerial shot of London includes a medieval version of the London Eye. It was a model instead of CGI and cost $500,000.
That's ridiculous. Although, like, now I got to go back and see, like, this model has got to be massive.
It's got to be something.
So it's got to be when they're playing Boys Are Back in Town, then, right?
I think so, because that's when they like show the big overview of London. Yeah.
I've never noticed. I'm gonna have to like really look at that to see if you could tell. You probably can't tell that it is a model.
And then my second one, for the scene when William follows Jocelyn into the cathedral, the sounds of his horse's hooves were produced using coconuts on Charles Maine's garage floor. So just to prove that you can use coconuts and be convincing. And then my third fact is that although Ulrich competes only in the sword and the lance events, the tournament features 6 total. These are the sword, lance, axe, bow, mace, and spear.
Didn't know that.
You would if you went to medieval times.
Are all those
literally like the training thing where he tries to poke the ring? That's it. It's a real thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty much everything.
You would know that. All right, medieval time. All right, final thoughts.
I'm just so glad you picked this movie.
Yes. I mean, I brought up the deleted scenes. I would say go on YouTube and watch those. I'm gonna have to buy this movie on DVD or Blu-ray
to
though.
be able to watch them.
Yeah. But go on there to watch those.
And that I can do. I'm on YouTube all day. Most days.
And then remember that interview I sent you? I think Heath Ledger smoking a cigarette in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
That's only like 17 years ago.
Right, that's not that long ago.
Yeah, and they're smoking cigarettes on the interviews for the movie. Just mind blowing.
Oh yeah, I mean, because you sit there for 10 hours a day answering the same damn questions.
Yeah.
No matter how original people think they are, it's like, okay, let's play a game. It's like, oh, now I gotta play a game.
Yeah, but I mean, I could probably quote this whole movie and keep quoting it.
It'll probably take me a couple more watches, but a couple of them are very much I remember.
Yeah, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah, so let's move into pretending like we're in charge and recasting the movie.
All right. I will go first, and I just did it as if it was going to come out in present day.
Okay.
So William, and I googled Australian actors, and Chris Hemsworth.
I didn't even have to Google it. As I put in my notes, it just sounded like him. So I'm like, yeah, that'll.
Then I went with for Roland. I went Jamie Bell.
That's a good one. I like that.
The Thing, or he was in Jumper.
Isn't he in Rocket Man?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be.
He's the songwriter.
Yeah. And then I went with Daniel Radcliffe from watching Miracle Workers. He's like hysterical in that, so I think he'd be great in this. For Chaucer, I went Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage can do some speeches. I think.
Right.
He has a lot of monologues in that show. So
he's a commanding presence for.
Mm-hmm. And then for Kate, I went Emily Browning from American Gods.
Mm-hmm.
I
looked
she was
her up.
in
I didn't recognize her.
Sucker Punch too. I want to say she was in one of those Zack Snyder movies, but smaller role, so I picked her. Jocelyn, Margot Robbie.
Another good pick.
Yeah. Adamar, I went Ben Mendelsohn.
It's a
perfect
villain. It's a fun pick, yeah.
He's always the villain.
You can play the cocky guy.
Mm-hmm. William's father, I went Sean Bean. Although he doesn't die in this movie, so so maybe I have to choose someone else.
Maybe we change the story to where he does die. Mm-hmm. The spear breaks and like
kills him. The Gamblers. So I'd have a callback to the original with Alan Tudyk and Tyler Lambin. So Tucker and Dale. And then the guy that does arrest him that has like that mushroom cut.
Yeah,
he doesn't. He only says like one line. I think he's like, "You came here to be arrested."
Yeah,
I would put Ike Barinholtz as that guy. That just came to me later. It kind of reminds me of him. But that's my recasting.
Okay, so for my recasting, I have a lot because as I was watching the movie, I'm like, I just writing down names and stuff. My first one, I brought a visual prop for you, just in case you didn't know who I was talking about. But the red cloth herald that for
Colville,
or for the prince, like the one right before Chaucer gives his first one. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay, yep, I see it.
That's absolutely the right call for that. And then for William, I also went with Chris Hemsworth. They sound very familiar or similar. Probably they're both Australian, and like just Australians sound very similar to each other. For Roland, I went with Jonah Hill, and for Watt, I went with Michael Cera. Keeping them together. For Chaucer, I went with Patton Oswalt from the Parks and Rec
episode.
You can introduce and make up stories on the spot.
Okay, I like that one. That's a good one.
For Kate, I went with Natalie Portman.
Okay,
with dark hair,
blacksmith,
blacksmith, hard ass character, badass. For Jocelyn, I went with Alicia Vikander or Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson, just because she's been in 2 movies.
One, she's been in more with Chris Hemsworth, so that works together. Yeah. Also, I think when I was looking on IMDb, she was on like a sidebar, so like, that actually works.
Yeah.
But Alicia Vikander for like that exotic look that they kind of went with the original. For Adamar, I really like these for me. Mads Mikkelsen or Joaquin Phoenix.
I think I like Mads more.
That's who I was thinking of, and I'm like, I keep picturing Joaquin, and then I'm like, oh no, Mads. So
I could picture. I just watched Sister Brothers with Joaquin. He'd be good from that. Yeah. He had that like grizzled look that he could pull off as like a villain.
Right, he got like that curly hair, so kind of like, what movie was he? Gladiator?
Yeah, Gladiator.
Where he's got like that kind of role. Yeah. So either one of them, I think, could pull it off. For young William's father, I went with Russell Crowe.
I know. Then this is when I added my last two because I saw you put it. I was like, oh, that is a good one. Like, now I got to pick somebody.
And then the two gamblers, I went with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Because there's one like chunkier guy and one like smaller guy.
Yeah.
For the French squire, so the guy that delivered your line about the wine.
The French wine?
Yeah. Sebastian Stan, just because the guy looked like him. So I'm like,
we'll throw him in there.
Toss him in there in the background. And then the prince. Prince Edward or Sir Thomas Colville. I'm going to name all the people that I thought that it possibly could have been. James Marsden, Wes Bentley, Noah Weil, Milo Ventimiglia, Matt Bomer, Zachary Quinto, or Michael Landis. Those were all people who look similar to the guy. One, who plays Prince Edward, and two, the guy that I was thinking of who I want to play him. And the guy who I was thinking of, who I spent way too long today at work Googling actors, white actors, top 1,000 actors. And it was haunting me until I figured it out. But the actor I want is Scott Foley. So he was in Grey's Anatomy. He was in Felicity. He was in a bunch of old Scrubs. He was in a bunch of old TV shows playing like a boyfriend type role. Exactly how I described it to you. But Scott Foley is.
I'll take Matt Bomer.
That's like any one of those guys I'd be able to settle on. But
yeah, I'd go Matt for mine.
That's a good one. Now it's time for us to rank our top Heath Ledger movies.
All right. So my number 5 is going to be Lords of Dogtown. I can't believe you haven't seen this.
You can't believe my list at all, can you?
very, very. My number 3 that you don't have that one seen I'm also very upset. I gotta see if I have any of these.
I
I might just give you all of these.
Like I said, I just need to borrow your entire DVD collection.
Lords of Dogtown, though, he's great. He has a smaller role compared to
comparatively,
movie. Yeah, but he does a very good job in it. 10 Things I Hate About You. It's just one of those.
And I'll say I think I've seen 3 and 4, but like parts of it, parts of both of them. So
yeah, that's
a
good one.
Him
And Julie Stiles.
Sure,
I believe. I hope I'm right.
I will look it up while you.
But then 3, The Patriot. Him and Mel Gibson. That's a great one. Then number 2, I go.
Take our freedom. Wrong movie. I know. Wrong movie. This is Braveheart. Yes, it is Julia Stiles.
Is it? Okay, good. Number 2, this movie, A Knight's Tale, only because number 1 is The Dark Knight. They're very close, though. Very different, though.
And JGL.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Oh, that chick. What am I thinking of her?
Nickelodeon show?
No. Recent.
Recent?
Bourne. She's the chick in the Bourne movies, I think.
Yeah.
Let me just confirm. Yes, confirmed. Nikki Parsons in Bourne.
Yes.
But yes, I agree with you. Knight's Tale, and then only because of Dark Knight.
Yeah, his role in that makes that movie.
Yes.
So that's got to be number 1.
No objections here. So my top Heath Ledger movies. Number 2, A Knight's Tale. And my number 1, The Dark Knight.
So you'd only seen Dark Knight.
I'd only seen A Dark Knight with Heath Ledger. And just random like memes and GIFs and stuff of Heath Ledger and other stuff. I'm like, that doesn't look like Heath Ledger because I've only seen him with a ton of makeup. And no Australian accent. So
yeah, no accent and a bunch of scars. I would throw
psychopath.
His last movie, I'd put an honorable mention. Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. It's really weird, though. That's like a one watch only. You don't need to watch them.
Like, okay, I watched it.
Yeah, but I did like it. It wasn't awful, but
it's good enough.
Yeah. Okay, so that's been our show today. Hope you enjoyed it.
You can follow us on social media and our website, timandtonytalk.com. Remember, share this with your friends.
And make sure to join us next week for the Mile Manor movie review.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening. I'm Tim.
And I'm Tony, and we are the Dynamic Duo.
Good night.
Good night.
You want to hug it out?